It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Good morning. Welcome to the Wheel, Power Chair, and Scooter Around Monday travel and cruise industry news on this, the 9th day of January, 2023, coming to you from Bedford County in Central Virginia. Excuse me for the frog in my throat. We have several stories this morning. Virgin Voyages launches a new music video. We're going to actually take a look at it. Second rescue in a week by a Virgin Voyages ship. Popular Carnival tour to return. Bar Harbor businesses fight back. And a battery-powered ship? What? That and much more live this morning here at 11 o'clock. Today, folks, is National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. I don't care what your politics are, to the left, to the right, makes no difference. We need our law enforcement. Find some way today to show your appreciation, even if it's just walking up to an officer and thanking him for his service. Anything to show appreciation for these folks that literally lay it on the line every day for all of us. If you're listening via the podcast, welcome aboard. As always, you can access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcasts from. All the big guys, tune in, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Pandora, Stitcher, any of them. Just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and up pops the fat travel guy. And as always, if you are listening via the podcast and want to hop over to the video feed to check out pictures or clips or videos that we may be running on today's show, all you have to do is go to the description of the podcast. And if you look down through there, there'll be a link that says, click here to access the video feed. Just click on it. We had a really big weekend this weekend, so we've got a lot of new folks that may be watching the show today. As you know, Pete and Justin and I did a live stream on Saturday evening for Passions for Cruises USA Solos. It is now official. Justin and I will be hosting a cruise on the 1st of May out of Miami on the Norwegian Joy. It has stops in Puerto Limon, Costa Rica, Colón, Panama, Cartagena, Colombia, Aruba, Curacao, and Puerto Plata in the Dominican Republic. And it will be hosted by Mr. Bucket List and the old fat travel guy. We had a huge turnout for that show. There are so many people here in the U.S. that can't wait to get some solo cruise deals. We are looking also at doing another one on somewhere around the first week in December that Pete's going to come over from UK and be with us. So that's all coming up here. You're going to be hearing a lot about the Passion for Cruises USA Solo cruises, because I'm going to be hosting some of them, or quite a few of them. You know, I've told them, you plan the cruise, I'll be happy to host it for you. So that's coming up May the 1st. I'll be back with today's news after a quick break from one of our sponsors. All right, before we actually get over to some breaking, I have some other things to actually get over to news. I have some other things that we need to talk about first. Some of you are familiar with Hot Air Tom, who's been on this channel numerous times before. So I just want you to take a look at Hot Air Tom and Cindy. They're still down there in South Carolina. They went out for dinner one night, and Hot Air Tom ordered a nice piece of prime rib. This is what Hot Air Tom, how he ruins a prime rib. Now, folks, don't get me wrong. I like a little horseradish on my prime rib. You know, a little bit on each bite just enhances the flavor. I don't want an inch worth of horseradish on top of my prime rib like Hot Air Tom does. That was his prime rib. Well, then after dinner, they went to see the penguins down there in Myrtle Beach. And that, of course, is Cindy and Hot Air Tom going into the Penguin Playhouse. Now, here's where the issue gets in trouble. This is a clip of the penguins. So you can see that he was there and with the penguins. And, you know, Hot Air Tom got in trouble once before down there in South America. When he tried to pin nap a penguin. He tried to put a penguin in his suitcase and got into all sorts of trouble down there for trying such a silly thing. So you know what he does in South America? He gets over in the damn pond with the penguin. At the pond. And this is from where I want to get it. Hot Air Tom is down in the water with the penguins looking back at Cindy. Swimming around and Cindy even waves at him. So Hot Air Tom got in trouble again with the penguins down there in South Carolina. So, all right. I had some pictures up from Sue and Barry down in Aruba. I'll save those for tomorrow so we can get on with the news for today. Top story today has to do with Virgin Voyages. Virgin Voyages has kicked off a brand new campaign with a vibrant, upbeat, some might say brilliant music video that takes viewers on a 24-hour tour of life on board the cruise ships. Virtually every potential cruiser will know the video's theme song well enough to sing along. It's Karma Chameleon, a 1983 hit from Culture Club.
your eyes all the way. If I listen to your lies, would you say I'm someone without conviction? I'm someone who doesn't know how to sell the contradiction. You come and go, you come and go.
I will.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, chameleon. You come and go, you come and go. Loving will be easy if your colors are like my dream. Red, gold, and green. Red, gold, and green. Every day is like survival. You're my lover, not my rival. Every day is like survival. You're my lover, not my rival. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, chameleon. You come and go, you come and go. Loving will be easy, even colors are like my dream. Red, gold, and green. Red, gold, and green. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, chameleon. You come and go, you come and go. Loving will be easy, even colors are like my dream. Red, gold, and green. Red, gold, and green. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, chameleon. Go, we come and go. Loving will be easy, even colors are like my dream. Red, gold, and green. Red, gold, and green.
Let's do it again, shall we?
All right, I thought that was well worth stealing a little commercial time this morning on a news show. I thought that was really, really well done. So congratulations to Virgin. Speaking of Virgin, they're in the news as well today, as they had a second rescue in just the last few days. The Valiant Lady assisted a boat of refugees near Cuba, the cruise line's second such encounter in less than a week. Unlike the first encounter by Scarlet Lady on New Year's Eve, these refugees from the latest incident chose not to board the cruise ship, but accepted supplies and continued on their way. Now, who knows if they were successful or not, but are they starting to wise up to not get on the cruise ships because they're going to get shipped back home? I don't know. Doesn't happen very often. All right, the next story has to deal with Carnival. Carnival will soon be bringing back the highly popular Behind the Fun tour that takes guests into crew-only areas on board the ship, including operational areas. Cruise line brand ambassador John Heald hinted of the tour's return recently on social media. Once cruising resumed and restrictions began to ease, staffing issues continued to cause challenges with offering small group experiences, and the cruise line focused on efforts on maximizing service to the most amount of guests. As staffing improved, however, different features were gradually brought back. Now Behind the Fun tour is slated to return in February, though other than early, there has been no confirmation of the exact date the tours will begin to be available. It's likely that the tour will start on different ships on different dates, with tweaks and adjustment as needed to provide the best experience for the guests on different vessels. You know, we talked a lot back in the fall, especially about Bar Harbor. A group of businesses in Bar Harbor, Maine, is suing the town over an ordinance that limits the number of cruise ship passengers to a maximum of 1,000 per day. The businesses filed a lawsuit in federal court last week, claiming that the ordinance violates federal maritime laws and several clauses in the U.S. Constitution. The businesses include retail stores, restaurants, and companies that operate privately owned piers and tender boats that ferry passengers from the ships to Bar Harbor, affected by the referendum passed in November. An ordinance was passed last year that restricted the number of daily visitors from cruise ships to 1,000 per day. The referendum that led to the ordinance was initiated by a citizen's petition earlier in the year. However, local businesses now argue that the ordinance falls foul of the arguments presented in the petition, which argued that cruise ship passengers significantly impact the town's services and environment more than other visitors. Bar Harbor, Maine is a popular destination for cruises, as it offers beautiful natural surroundings, charming New England charm, various recreational cultural activities, but more importantly, some awfully good eating. Nearly all major cruise lines offer cruises to the quaint little town, and the option of not sailing there will not sit well in executive offices of any of the cruise ships. And finally, this morning, folks, this one was almost stunning. From over on the other side of the pond, Costa Cruises is working with Italian energy company Enel Group to explore the electrification of its larger ships as part of an effort to promote sustainability in the maritime industry. The Italian travel brand, the subsidiary of Carnival Corporation, said it would collaborate with Enel to explore projects to reduce emissions on its vessels when they are operating close to shore or in port, as well as advocating for the expansion of the use of cold ironing at more ports in Italy. The project represents the first attempt for large cruise ships with the extensive power requirements of the hotel side of the ship, as well as for maneuvering. Smaller expedition passenger ships operating on the coast of Norway added batteries, but have limited time spans of operation. Avila Krasuten claimed a record when its 15,800 gross ton ship, Avila Castor, navigated the Geringer Fjord on June 2022 for 3 hours on battery power. Working with Enel, Costa Cruises plans to carry out a retrofit for a pilot case to eliminate emissions on one of the ships while entering and leaving port and on the dock. The plan is to install a battery power supply system, likely combined with shore power recharging system for the batteries. According to Costa, this would eliminate emissions from the ship for half a day between the time spent on the dock and maneuvering. According to the general manager of Costa Crociere, Mario Zanetti, the project is part of their ambitions to introduce a brand new generation of ships operating with net zero emissions by 2050. So maybe, folks, an electric ship. Now I realize that that's not about doing an electric ship like we have electric cars. But, I mean, if they can come up with a sensible working plan that makes sense, that would be so much healthier for the cruise ports. That would be awesome. So, hats off to Costa and Enel over there in Italy. All right, that's going to wrap it up as far as the news portion of today's show. However, let's go see who is with us in the chat room. And if anybody is fussing at me today, Hot Air Tom is with us. I hope you're dried out from the penguin swim. And I'm sticking to it, that is what happened. Hot Air Tom was down there in the pond swimming and looking up at Cindy sitting there waving at him like saying, "You damn fool, what are you doing in the pond?" But that's neither here nor there. Cindy, that's a different Cindy. Our own Cindy Lee is with us also today. Rich is here. Hi, Rich. Greetings, Earthlings. Please don't forget to promote Chillie. Thank you very much, Rich. I certainly do appreciate that. Sonny's with us. Hi, Sonny. Amy's here. Katie's with us. Hi, Katie. Looks great. Would love to try Virgin Voyages. Yeah, folks, I meant to say, not only was I impressed by a music video from a cruise line. I mean, yeah, it's a little bit more glorified than some of the commercials that other cruise lines have done. But I've never sailed Virgin, and it's on the bucket list. I don't have one booked yet, but we're going to have to start seriously looking at doing a Virgin cruise. So I really don't care which ship. That doesn't matter either, but we're going to have to schedule one of them. Rich says, "Thank you very little." Now that song will be in my head all day. Yes, I know. Nikki's with us. Hi, Nikki. Had my first cardiopulmonary rehab session this morning, feeling stronger. Wow, one session, you're feeling stronger? That's awesome. Good news, Nikki. Absolutely. I agree with Cindy on that. Sonny says, great to hear how many rehabs we have. It's a good question. I did 6 months. I believe it was 6 months my last rehab session. Kenneth's with us up in Pennsylvania. Hi, Kenneth. Keep up the good work, Nikki. Gail Boone is with us. Good morning, Gail. That's a new name for us. Welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News chat room. So always like to welcome new folks. And as you can tell, we have considerable fun here. And the guys get over in the chat room and talk amongst themselves. That's their excuse for paying absolutely no attention to anything that I'm saying on the show. But Gail, I am absolutely not serious about that. All right, guys, that's going to wrap me up today. I'm sorry that Hot Air Tom has not given any idea if he got dried off from the penguin encounter yet, but I am definitely going to stick with that story as long as ever. Hot Air Tom swimming with the penguins down there in Myrtle Beach. So I'm going with that. Hot Air Tom did come in and say, yes, he's dry. We are certainly glad, Hot Air, that you're neither in jail or still wet. Okay, guys, that's going to wrap me up today. Got a busy week, by the way. For Cruise Amigos on Thursday afternoon at 1 o'clock. Amigo Martin has promised me that he will be in attendance on Thursday of this week. And by the way, Gail says she joined the solo cruises this weekend. So that's where she saw me yesterday. So welcome aboard, Gail. I thought that's where you might have been from. And I'm expecting a number of the ladies, especially that were on the show yesterday, that have shown interest in the solo cruising, to join us here also. We are going to have a good time. That's Rich Martin. Martin is his last name, Tom. So, and welcome, Gail. Hot Air Tom says as well. By the way, in case you're wondering, Hot Air Tom is one of our regulars. He's been on this show doing all kinds of crazy stuff before. We call him Hot Air Tom because he has live streamed from a hot air balloon and while parasailing live on this show. So that's where he got the name Hot Air Tom. All right, that's going to wrap me up for today, folks. I hope you've enjoyed today's broadcast. And as always, I'll be back same time, same channel tomorrow. So everybody, folks, stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising, and hopefully one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas. Have a fabulous day. See everybody back here at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.